Hey guys, today we are going to clean up our leather hard pots. It's set up, it's pretty firm, uh, definitely not going to change its overall form anymore. So first things first, we're going to straighten up this rim. Didn't really matter too much to worry about it before. So what we're going to do is I've got it on a banding wheel and I've anchored my hand with a sharp tool, my dominant hand, and I'm just turning the pot on the banding wheel without moving my dominant hand. So what that does is it gives me a nice, relatively straight line that matches up as I work my way around. So I'm just going to use my clay knife and I am going to go very slowly and follow the line that I just drew and cut off the uneven portion of the rim. Again, I'm going very slowly so that I can keep my cut nice and accurate. If you take off clay here that you do not want to take off, it is difficult to put it back because the clay is leather hard. So it's not going to want to stay very well. So go nice and slow. Also, slow is safe. So nice and slow until it comes off. And that's that. Now I left like a little bump, so I'm just going to kind of clean that up. All right. So then I like to start cleaning it up. And the first thing I do is I just kind of knock down any edges on the rim because I'm going to be flipping it over. So then I just kind of feel it out. Where are the bumps? What needs fixed? Kind of assess. Then refine the form and get it nice and clean and not lumpy, I use the side of a metal rib and just scrape and turn, scrape and turn. If you see a bump, scrape it off just a little bit at a time. Don't try to take a ton all at once. Just scrape and turn, scrape and turn. Now, if you notice, when I clean off my rib, I pull the clay off perpendicularly from the rib. I don't slice my fingers or swipe my fingers down the side of the rib because you will cut your finger. Been there, done that. I don't recommend it. So just pull the clay off perpendicularly instead. And we do a lot of scrape and turn here. So you can see where there's shadows on the side of the pot. That's where there's little dents. So that's what we're kind of cleaning up. Just doing a lot of the same thing. It's very repetitive. And then the same thing for the bottom, for the base of the pot, and for the edge. Then we're going to switch and use your fingers. Your fingers are great at smoothing out any tool marks or any other little places that you feel or find as you're working. The bottom needs to be quite smooth, otherwise it'll scrape up your auntie's favorite dining room table. So make sure that the bottom is nice and smooth. And there are no little jaggies or clay crumbs that are going to become sharp in the kiln. And then same thing all the way around, just using the fatty part of my thumb and dragging all the way around, working out any extra little lumps that I find with my fingers. And then nice and soft. Then we're going to flip it over. Now that we're done with the base, and it's not sitting on the rim anymore, we can work on the rim. So the first thing that I do is I use a damp sponge and just make sure that everything is pushed down and those rims are the rim's nice and smooth and soft. If you are using a clay that has grog in it, which is like pre-fired clay that's been ground up into almost like a sand, you do not want to use the sponge with water. This water will just loosen up and basically dissolve the clay from around the grog. It'll actually make it more rough. So no sanding or cleaning up like this with a damp sponge if you are using a clay that has grog. I'm not, so I can use this sponge and just kind of help clean it up. So I'm just, like I said, just softening the edges, rounding them off a bit, trying to keep them nice and even, cleaning up, really thick spots or bumps as I find them. All right. Then I am going to do a final check for thick areas. So I'm just going through, giving the inside one more good smoothing over with my thumb. Also, if I feel like a really thick spot along the way or a spot that feels uneven to me, I'm just going to kind of pinch it out a little bit. Sometimes that raises the rim a little bit. You can go back and trim it off later if you would like. Just cleaning, cleaning, cleaning. So obviously you can tell it's very repetitive. It's just something that it just takes some time. Just have to do your due diligence with it. But you could clean all day. I could spend the next 3 days working on just cleaning. So getting pretty close to the end here. So just checking everything, making sure the rim doesn't have any weird sharp spots or weird bumps, and it's looking pretty good. Popped up a little bit there around the rim right there. Not too worried about it. Okay, it's a little bit of a ridge. You can press out any weird spots that you find along the way. And I think we're pretty much going to call this good. All right, guys, have fun.